Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call this meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Can I get a roll call, please?
Michael Passion.
Present.
Thomas Wood.
I'm here.
Meg LaFave.
Here.
Barb Hebert.
Here.
Charles Costick.
Here.
James Coffey.
Here.
Rick Collins.
Resolution 121, approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of June 27th and July 11th, 2019 be approved and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Caustic, is there a second?
Second.
LaFave, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Any public comment this evening?
I do have a question.
Sure.
Has there been any movement on short-term rentals?
No. I don't imagine that we will get too heavy on that for a little while, largely because the planning department is going to be down one individual with Melena leaving and a couple other things, but I would also anticipate that it may go into it a little bit more when the, for lack of better terms, the comprehensive land use plan stuff starts generating, so we can have some additional tag on it.
The reason I ask is I've had a call from somebody who's having problems and said, well, I wasn't invited to the thing, and I thought,
You can encourage anybody to make contact with
I did,
us.
I suggested that he call Trevor or the planning, or the zoning department
Yep.
and try to get on the comprehensive land use plan or the, you know, the rewrite of the zoning, and then he could bring that to your attention.
Thank you. Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you. Resolution 122, abstract 8A-19.
Resolved that the abstract of audit of claims number 8A-19, 1398 to 1492 for $561,728.95, and abstract 8A-19A, 226 to 239 prepays in the amount of $794,720.84 be received as reviewed by the audit committee, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to pay said abstract.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye. Aye. So does carry. Resolution 123, purchase of vacuum exploration.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Water and Wastewater Department utilized a combination of jet and vacuum trucks to maintain the town's water and wastewater system. Whereas the department's 2006 vacuum truck is in need of replacement. And whereas the Water and Wastewater Department has obtained and reviewed contract price quotes from New York State Office of General Services contract number PC 66595. Therefore be resolved that the town board is hereby authorized the purchase of a VACOL AJV 1510 or 151015 for $388,498.12. And it be further resolved, the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign any and all related documents required to the purchase of the water wastewater budget account, water and sewer, 1610-2000. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to Mr. Stoddard, Water and Wastewater Director.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Caustic, is there a second?
Second.
LaFave, any discussion?
I'd just like to commend Scott and his team for the effort that they put forth with this purchase. They put a lot of work into this. He brought the whole team in. This truck is actually, as it was explained to us, is actually a demo, and substantial amount of money was saved. I think we had budgeted around $450,000 for this, right in that neighborhood. So he did a heck of a job chasing this down, and it's a piece of equipment that they really need, use, and you know, it was a team effort.
All those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 124, request to advertise for a new or used semi-tractor trailer for the highway department.
Whereas Tim Dubray, Highway Superintendent, has met with the Highway Committee to discuss his request, solicit for bids for semi-tractor trailer with heavy-duty specs 2004 or newer. Whereas the Highway Committee has reviewed the department's needs and proposed specifications, and it's their recommendation that the request be approved. Therefore be resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish an advertisement published in the Press Republican for sealed bids with a non-conclusive bid form entitled Semi-Tractor Trailer with Heavy-Duty Specs 2004 or newer. Returnable on or before August 20, 2019 at 2 p.m. prevailing time at the Town Hall Complex, 151 Baker Road, Plattsburgh, New York, 12901, at which time the town clerk will publicly open said bids, and to be further resolved, specification forms for contract may be obtained from the town clerk's office during regular business hours, and to be further resolved that the town board reserves the right to reject any and all bids offered. And to be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the town clerk and highway superintendent.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 125, highway request for new 2020 tandem axle plow truck and equipment purchase.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Highway Department needs a plow truck and equipment to update the fleet. And whereas Tim Dubray, Highway Superintendent, has complied with New York State Office of General Services procurement requirements for acquisition by completion of a completed mini bid process executed via New York State Vehicle Marketplace. And therefore be resolved that a letter dated July 31st, 2019, Mr. Dubray requests permission to purchase a 2020 tandem axle plow truck and equipment and combination duct box pursuant to New York State Office through the General Services Standard Purchase Group contract. And to be further resolved that the town board is hereby grant permission to Mr. Dubray to order said truck and equipment, and that a copy of this resolution be given to the highway superintendent.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion?
Yeah, this is actually for, to be received next year, actually purchased in next year's budget. It's just that it takes so long to go through this government situation with all the paperwork and everything else, and get the bids and things, that it will, by the time they get it, be next year.
Yeah.
And we plan on these every 2 years. That's our plan, next year, every year, but it has to be ordered now.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 126, retirement of James Holland from the Highway Department.
Whereas Mr. James Holland has submitted a letter of retirement from his position in the highway department effective August 30th, 2019. Therefore be resolved that the town board, town of Plattsburgh, with appreciation for his prior years of service in this position, accept Mr. Holland's letter of retirement and wish him well in his future endeavors. And be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the highway superintendent and one to be placed in Mr. Holland's personnel file.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
LaFave, any discussion? Just on behalf of the town, I just want to publicly thank him for his service to the town for many years. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 127, retirement of Pamela Esposito as court clerk.
Whereas Ms. Pamela Esposito has submitted a letter of retirement from her position as court clerk effective August 31st, 2019. Therefore be resolved that the town board, with appreciation of her prior years of service in this position, accept Mrs. Esposito's letter of retirement and wish her well in her future endeavors. And to be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to both town justices and one to be placed in her personnel file.
Is there a motion?
So,
Costick, is there a second?
Second.
Hebert, is there any discussion? Equally, I would just thank her for her many years of service. Most people don't recognize how busy the court is downstairs.
I don't realize how much the actual working of it depends upon the person
That's right.
who has
Yeah.
experience and who has the dedication and really puts in the time to do it correctly.
Yeah.
And they are
I
already
think
beginning,
they're really going to miss this person.
yeah, and they are already beginning to work on a transition plan, just as an FYI.
Pam's
It's a-
always been accessible for questions, in the committee that Tom and I are on. I've seen her in action in court on the nights that she's worked, so.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 128, the resignation of Carol Ann Ruger from the Finance Committee.
Whereas Ms. Carol Ann Ruger has submitted a letter of resignation from her position on the Finance Committee effective August 1st, 2019. Therefore, be resolved that the Town Board, Town of Plattsburgh, with appreciation for her prior years of service in this position, accept Mrs. Ruger's letter of resignation as a member of the Finance Committee and wish her well on her future endeavors. And to be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the Finance Manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave. Is there a second?
Second.
Hebert, is there any discussion?
When Carol Ann Ruger at the last finance meeting submitted her resignation, it wasn't without emotion. And I think she wanted to thank you, Meg, for your service on the finance committee as liaison, and then I took over. Because I really don't think she wanted to do this, but she felt it was in the best interest overall personally, and so she asked a lot of good questions concerning that.
Yeah, she's preparing to eventually move
Yes,
forward.
that's
She doesn't
right.
know when that date will be yet, so. And I knew her at the college for many years, so she was a good addition. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 129, public hearing for small cell application Verizon at 814 Ampersand Drive.
Whereas the Town of Plattsburgh is desirous to hold a public hearing with Verizon with respect to a small cell application on Ampersand Drive. Therefore, be resolved that a public hearing will be held in the Town of Plattsburgh with respect to this application for small cell location on Ampersand Drive on August 22nd, 2019 at 6:05 PM at 151 Baker Road, Plattsburgh, New York, 12901. And to be further resolved that a notice of hearing on August 22nd, 2019 shall be published in the town's official newspaper, the Press Republican, not less than 5 days prior to the hearing. And to be further resolved that the town clerk shall post said notice on the bulletin board maintained by the town clerk pursuant to Town Law 30, Section 6, and the town Plattsburgh website for a period of not less than 5 days prior to the public hearing, the town clerk. And to be further resolved that a copy of this resolution and attachments be given to the town clerk.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Caustic, is there a second?
Second.
LaFave. I just want to remind people that we work with a consultant, Dick Comey. He has been working with these individuals. This is part of that process for future consideration, the public hearing. So that's why it's been kind of bumbling along for a little bit. So we'll have the public hearing, we'll get some more information on it, and then we can proceed with additional information. The telecommunication, no, that's not the word that I want to use. Now I can't think of the word, but anyways, the cellular application, I guess, is something that he's been working with the town for a lot of years.
What is it exactly, the small cell?
It's basically like what the water tower has, but they're looking for a smaller, remember when we added an application to the church over on the Air Force Base? Similar thing. Yeah. Okay. All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. All right. Resolution 130, execute an agreement by and between the Town of Plattsburgh and Teamsters Local 687.
As the Town of Plattsburgh and Teamsters Local 687 are parties to a collective bargaining agreement with effective dates January 1, 2020 through December 31st, 2023, have been in negotiation as a successor agreement for a period January 1, 2020 through December 31st, 2023. Whereas Teamsters Local 687 membership voted to ratify the terms of successor agreement on July 25th, 2019. And whereas the attorney for the town of Plattsburgh recommends adopting the terms of successor agreement. Now therefore be resolved that the town board, town of Plattsburgh, that hereby authorizes the supervisor of the town of Plattsburgh to execute the successive collective bargaining agreement between the town of Plattsburgh and Teamsters Local 687, covering the period from January 1, 2020 through December 31st, 2023. And be it resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager, shop steward in the town of Plattsburgh, and the labor relations Teamster representative, Mickey Smith.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, any discussion?
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna add a thank you to Jim.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
You know, we have a really good crew. We definitely did some back and forth just to get our minds and arms wrapped around a couple of details. But overall, it was a good negotiation, and I'm pleased with where we have arrived, so.
I'd like to request a roll call vote.
Yep. Roll call, please.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes, so does carry. Thank you. Resolution 131, 3% site plan, return deposit for a joint aligned contractor storage yard and special use site plan 2018.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Planning Board has reviewed and approved all requirements for joint aligned contractor storage yard site plan and special use permit 2018. And whereas the Planning Community Development Department has coordinated the inspections and said report, all the requirements have been met and completed. Now therefore be resolved, the supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to the release of said deposit of $2,834 plus accrued interest to date. And to be further resolved that a certified copy be forwarded by the Planning Community Department Secretary with the return of deposit to Joint Align Company Incorporated.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Second.
Hebert, any discussion? Tom, this is usually the one that you want to make reference on.
Yes, we can have a roll call vote on this one, yes.
Roll call.
I'll say, okay, Thomas Wood,
Abstain?
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Mike Cash.
Yes, so does carry. Thank you. Knowing of a need to go into an executive session to discuss the work history of two employees, is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Costick,
6:17.
thank you. 6:17, can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Mike Cash.
Yes, no action to be taken.